And he was like, move in with me again, went to another home because I was so desperate for help. And then that relationship became very abusive. And then I said, I can't do this anymore. So then I started renting rooms off of Craigslist for like $500 a month.
Yeah.
And literally had a mattress, some clothes, some toys, and it was very easy to move. And I started renting rooms, you know, after I left that, I was actually homeless, but I was too prideful to call my parents because the last thing I wanted to hear from them was, I told you so. And so I slept in my car with my baby literally in the back seat in the streets of Santa Ana until I had the courage to call my tia Concha. And I told her, you know, just give me a place to stay just for a couple of days until I find a place. And she said, okay. I moved all my shit in her house. Next day I wake up, all my shit's gone. My own family friends stole from me.
This stuff that we're getting a new table, gonna carpet the floor. You don't get better.
Yeah.
He can hear you.
Katana, can you mute the video and then put a song on? Yeah. Just yeah. Okay. Let's start now. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Talking to that, lift it up a little. You're not gonna break it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, hold on. Okay,
there you go.
There we
Good.
Go. Cool.
Good.
So however you hear yourself, that's how the rest of the world will hear you.
Yeah.
I know. I watched back season 2 recently, and I was like, I didn't realize how annoying my voice is. But I think it's just we're so like hard on ourselves, like hearing yourself.
Man.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah,
we are.
like,
he critiques. He still critiques himself with the lights and the this and that. It's.
I watch every single podcast because I don't remember what happens during the podcast. I mean, I'll remember bits and pieces, but it gives me something to do while I'm on the treadmill, so I listen to the podcast.
Why is it that you forget things?
Oh, because I'm so zoned in.
Zoned in, yeah. That what happens to me when I speak on stages.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did I say?
I know.
Was I clear?
Right?
So,
God.
Yeah.
I'm always like that. It's terrible. So
on stage?
Yeah,
I have no idea what I said that
Zero
day.
clue.
That when
listen.
I remember
after
crying.
You speaking, yes. After you spoke, like because I have a tendency to like really tap into emotions, and I tapped into yours, and I was just like, oh my God, like I wanted to give you such a huge hug at that, both of you. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I was still in like that place of like, God, I can't even imagine things like that happening. So.
And I had no idea that, like that question threw me off. I had a whole other plan in my head, and I still kind of went with my plan. I just took my plan and kind of was like, okay, well, this is how I'm being a servant of God, right? And doing God's work.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for the last 22 years of my life. Not perfectly by any means, but, you know, this building that you guys just walked in is my very first treatment center that my family, my dad and I started 21 years ago. 21 years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is like, I think, like a rehab place, or can you explain a little bit more of like this? It's an awesome spot, by the way. Each office is like bigger than my room. It's a great place.
Yeah. So this is the building that's here is Hope by the Sea. It's Hope by the Sea's PHP and IOP, so
flagship building,
outpatient office.
Yeah.
On the other side of that wall over there, there's probably 40 to 60 clients back there doing group therapy, one-on-ones. There's a doctor downstairs, nurse,
full gym.
Full gym. Yeah, we could take you on a tour before you leave.
Yeah, I should stop by. You guys are only 15 minutes away from me, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Stop in a few times.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Have a good workout. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We can be regular podcaster.
We can do, you know what we can do?
Yeah.
We could bring in Natalie and
there you go.
Callie again.
100%.
and get her
do a workout again
on with the three of them. It's always good to collaborate with a bunch of people that have a lot of following.
Yeah. No, actually, I think I told you that I actually know Natalie.
Nice.
I don't think she remembers me, but we both, I don't know if I should say this, but cut it out just in case, but we both bottle serviced at the same nightclub.
Oh no, she'd be totally fine with that.
She'd be fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
she told us about her bottle servicing.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew her, but I looked completely different. I was like blonde and I just looked completely different. So I don't know if she remembers me, but that's how I know Natalie. Yeah.
Nice.
And then my son did some.
Yes.
Jonathan
they were saying,
I got a text from Jonathan a little while. I accidentally sent a text to the two of them and Jonathan
read
and
what
Natalie.
he said. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was really nice what he said about your kid.
Oh, about my kid?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, he for the listeners, he basically did behind the scenes, like he was like videoing. I think it was Natalie, and I think it was for Bang.
It was for Rain.
Sorry, yeah. So that was a cool experience for him, and he was on stage, and there was like big crowd, and it was really cool. And so that's how my son met her. So and Jonathan, I think.
So I was yelling at the two of them. Because it was I was like, why did you guys leave at 12:30? Anyways. And actually Natalie I accidentally texted on a group thread with Natalie and Jonathan. He said, fun fact, Kayla's son helped out videographer Jacob at Rain Night Run event at Angel Stadium a few years back. He's a very polite and respectful young man. And then he said, good parenting.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That was nice.
Probably the best compliment I could ever get is my parenting.
Yeah,
so
man. Good for
Jonathan,
you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. So
how old is your son?
He's 16.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that leads to the point of, oh my God, how old are you? Did you have him when you were 12? I get that all the time.
It's true.
I am 34. I was pregnant 17, had him 18. So I was a very young mama.
Very young.
It's kind of cool being a young parent, though. I had two stepdaughters when I'm in my first marriage, and my ex-wife had her kids at 18 and 19, and I was like 32 when one of them graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. So it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is nice.
Yeah, it was for the most part the best because I was the only parent that was on the field throwing balls with him, and like I have that we work out together, like we both lift weights, like, you know, and a lot of he comes home, he always has a story because he's in high school now, obviously, and all his friends, every single one of them basically do not have a close relationship with their parents, and that's so sad to hear. And I'm the safe house, so that means all his friends come to my house every weekend because I allow them to do their thing. They're safe. They're under my roof. And, you know, I don't like, I give them the freedom, but with boundaries, like I take care of them. They're like my children, like all of them. So, and, you know, I have really deep talks with them about faith, about life. And, you know, it's sad because a lot of kids nowadays lack that with their own parents, their own homes. And it's really, really sad to hear. So I try to be the mama to everyone that I possibly can. So it's a total passion of mine to help, you know, the kids.
No, we do. And it's, you know, it's sad. It's both parents have to work nowadays. That's what life is, especially here in California. So it's tough.
Yeah, it is rough.
It is rough.
It can be really rough.
Really rough.
Living in SoCal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yes, I see your point of view.
But you work.
But I work and I have so many things going on, and I'm the sole provider. I don't have any, the father of my son, I've never gotten child support ever. I will never get child support. And he's already 16 at this point.
Yeah.
I'm the sole provider, and I still have quality time with him. That is much more meaningful. And to be present with your kids is so, people don't understand how important that is. That one conversation where you're on your phone or on the computer or you're distracted, they know when you are. Yeah. So just being present with them as well. We're all working. We all have a lot going on. To me, I think that's an excuse. You should still make time.
I agree.
You know, the quality time.
You know what it is, though? It's either in you or it isn't.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
You're right.
exactly.
Shane's home at every night at usually like 4 because you go and pick up your son. You take him to
very family orientated.
Jiu-jitsu.
Have to. That's my job, bro.
I just took
That's our job.
My 15-year-old daughter out on her first date.
That's cool.
I didn't want some man to take her out on, or some not man, boy. I didn't want some boy to take her out on a date and her not know what a date's supposed to be like.
Yeah, that's smart. I'm gonna do for my daughter.
Took her to Mastro's.
I'm not gonna take her there.
Ocean Club.
Oh, you're already setting the bar real
That's what I'm
high,
saying,
man. You
right?
gotta be careful with that.
It's true.
Because when the boys, take her to freaking, I don't know.
She'll be happy with McDonald's. That's her favorite restaurant. Not Mastro, Shane?
Damn, am I hot right now? It's crazy. These earphones.
Really?
The heat is crazy. Are you hot?
No. Well, I'm starting to get a little warm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I turn the fan on?
If you want.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want you sweating, Shane.
Oh, yeah, be super.
You're going to make it hotter. Oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. But now you messed up the lighting, Shane.
Well, should I turn it off?
You're fine.
We got to go lighting, bro.
No. You're fine. You're fine.
Lighting's more important.
It'll cool off quickly.
Yeah, lighting's more important, bro.
High maintenance, Shane, huh? All of a sudden.
My ears will sweat.
You want to check just check the air, make sure it's on.
68.
Yeah. Does it say air on that little? Grab your glasses.
What is it right now? 75?
Temporary cool on. Yeah. It's 75.
Yeah, you can take them off. No, you can take them off.
No, take it off. We didn't, Yeah.
Is he the mascot?
He's the mascot.
He's the mascot. Okay. I'm back. I'm back, baby, and I'm feeling better. Now that I got up and walked around, I'm a little more lively. The sweat's starting to drip again, though. I'm not going to lie. Wow. I got to trim my beard, my mustache.
You need a towel.
I might need a towel.
Send Michelangelo.
Wow.
I'm usually the hot one, too.
I know. I never sweat, bro. It's weird.
I'm going to need a raise to be.
Is it because I'm here?
Is it? Are
You know what? I didn't want to say anything. He asked if I was nervous earlier. I said no. Apparently,
I said, "Are you nervous?"
My emotion is catching up with me. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah. So
We've
18.
been looking forward to.
Yeah, we really have been.
17.
17. Yeah. Had the kid when she was 18. My mom was 20. It was nice because we went garden reading together. You know what garden reading is?
No.
It's when you walk down the street and you go down the back lanes and you see someone's garden and you jump over the fence and you steal all their veggies.
That's.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, bro.
That's a Canadian thing.
I just want to let you know that he is from Canada.
It's called garden raiding.
Raiding.
Raiding. Garden raiding.
Oh, they said reading.
No, garden raiding.
Raiding.
He says all these weird words. Sometimes he'll say, "What's that one thing I always make fun of you on?"
I don't know, but I do know.
I don't know.
Asset.
No.
It's something like that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll watch. He speaks.
It'll
Canadian
eventually show up
most of the time.
Yeah.
Should we do our intro?
No.
Why not?
Before.
Cue the intro.
All right.
Cue my new intro.
Boom.
What do you think?
It's like the Friends. I think it's like the Friends.
It does.
Doesn't seem like
It's
the
very
Friends.
similar to Friends.
It is like the Friends thing.
Yeah.
I get.
That's good.
It makes me happy and excited all at the same time.
Yeah, it's the Friends. Boom.
Okay, good. That's enough. We actually don't do an intro.
No, we've been going
do you
hard.
wanna-
We've been going for the last half hour.
Do you want to
Do you want to what?
do an intro?
No, we never do
Introduce
intros, bro. Hi, this
Okay.
is. Hi there.
Hi, welcome to the Hopeaholics Podcast.
Yeah, this is Chad Carlson coming from you live from San Juan Capistrano.
Today we have Kayla.
No bueno.
And And I won't screw up her last name because it's Cardona.
Cardona.
Oh, you did screw it up.
Damn it.
And you yelled at me like 4 times. Don't fuck her name up. There you go.
It's okay. I get that all the time.
Well, I bet do people say Cordova often?
Every time. It's I
It's
don't
hard
know why.
to hard to even spell Cardona because it switches it to Cordova.
Oh yeah.
Every
Oh,
time.
that's
Phone.
right. Yeah. It does do that. But yeah, I get that all the time.
Well, welcome to the Hopeaholics Podcast. We really don't do intros.
Yeah.
We just like to have fun here, and we have casual conversation. I kind of wanted to get a little background on your life, where you grew up, how it was growing up.
Yeah. So born and raised in Orange County my whole life. I was born in Fullerton, raised in like Santa Ana, Costa Mesa area. And then I eventually moved a little bit more south to like Lake Forest area. So I've always been in like within that perimeter, but it was oh my gosh, how deep are we going here? It was tough. I mean, my parents divorced when I was 1, and I lived in 2 different completely polar opposite households. My dad and stepmom was like Christians, but like hypocritical Christians. We would go to church every weekend, but they weren't really living in God's way.
Yeah.
And then my mom was basically the Antichrist. She didn't believe in God. And if she did, she would always question, like, why does bad things happen if there's a God, all the things, right? So I was being pulled back and forth between the completely different. My mom was on drugs, drinking all the time. Like I had my first cigarette when I was 4, my first drink when I was 4, like seeing a lot of things like, her friends would be over, and I just have this like super vivid memory of one of her friends coming up to me and saying, here, touch this. And I touched his veins on his arms, and they were hard as rock.
Oh, damn.
And he was like, don't do drugs. And like, so I've seen a lot of shit, and it was just I internalized all of that, so it was tough, very, very tough. And, as things started getting better for me, I feel like, it was like in high school time, like maybe freshman, sophomore year. And when I feel like I was finally able to kind of express myself and become into my own, I got pregnant. And that's when my whole life changed. And my parents basically said, they gave me an ultimatum, and they said, if you have this child, abortion was not an option. We're Christians, right? So they're like, if you have this child, you need to give it up for adoption, find an adoption family. And I did. And I found an adoption family from someone from my high school. And they couldn't have kids. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give my son away to this family. 7 months in, something came over me, something very powerful. And now I know it was God. Because I was scared to death of my parents. Like, they were so strict. Like, I got caught stealing a bracelet at Target once, and my stepmom chopped all my hair off, took away all my like girl clothes and makeup and jewelry, took everything out of my room. And I had to ask to brush my hair. I had to ask to brush my teeth. And then they took me to Kmart and bought me a bunch of boys' clothes. So I was forced to wear boys' clothes. This was like in middle school. Okay. So it was like very traumatizing. And I was very much affected by that, and I was grounded for like 2 years.
Wow.
This is over a bracelet.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so I found an adoption family, and then 7 months pregnant, I basically said, I'm keeping him. And I didn't know what was going to happen.
Who'd you tell first?
I told my mom first, because when I found out I was pregnant, I was with my mom because we would go to her, me and my sister, we would go to her house every weekend. And I found out my mom used to live in a car shop. So every weekend we would sleep in a car shop.
Wow.
And that's where I found out that I was pregnant. And so she was the first one to find out. And then we had to make that phone call to my dad, and I was scared to death. And I was so happy I was with my mom at the time, because I didn't know how they were going to react. I was really scared. And I told them, and I just remember that call, and they're like, no, she's not pregnant. There's no way. Because they didn't even know. I wasn't even allowed to talk about boys, you know, like they didn't know I was even having sex, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. So they were like in denial. And, you know, it came to a point where I was breathing in all the fumes from the cars and the paint and stuff like that. So she's like, you have to get out of here. And I'm like, well, I can't go home. I have to go to the father of my child. And so I called my dad and we had to tell him the news. And then I basically said like, well, I wasn't speaking. My mom was because I was too scared. But she basically was like, she has to go to, by the way, I have never shared this side of my story. You guys are getting,
it's really incredible.
Like, detail.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
This is the first time I've shared this type of detail. Yeah, ever.
Thank you.
You guys are the first.
Thank you.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. So basically she, you know, I'm like, I have to get out of here. I can't breathe this fumes in. So, my dad said, absolutely not. You are to come home and I'm going to get you right now. And I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen to me. And, I went home and I just remember that drive being the longest drive of my life, completely silent. Like it was
With your dad.
with my dad and my stepmom. Yeah. So I'm home and that's when they gave me the ultimatum. Like, you got to find a family. So I was like, okay. But 7 months pregnant, I just was like, oh no, I'm keeping him. And they're like, okay. So they took me in the car and they dropped me off at a shelter.
No.
Yeah. And
Were you 18
I was
at that time?
17 at the time.
17.
Yeah. 17 pregnant. 4 days after I turned 18 is when I had him. So my birthday is December 20th. His is December 24th.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Christmas
That's
baby.
pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you go overboard on his birthday presents?
Yes, I did at first. And then as he got older, like he just doesn't care. All he wants is money and clothes.
That's
like
nice.
that's it. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, like that's easy, you know? So, but before, I used to over spoil him because, you know, he's my
Yeah, of
boy. He's
course,
my
of
first boy.
Plus,
Like I'm going to spoil
kids
him.
that are like Christmas babies often get that, like, okay, here's your birthday.
Yeah, that's how I grew up.
I'm gonna take one of these Christmas
And
presents
just make it.
and make it your birthday.
You get cheated. You get cheated.
Yeah, and then we would always wait till Christmas to celebrate my birthday because they're like, well, everyone's gonna already be together, and I'm like, why do I have to wait? This sucks.
Right? It's
That's
true.
It's the
not-
worst.
That's not fair.
It's not
Everybody's
fair.
coming over for Christmas, not your birthday.
I know.
See, my daughter got mad because her birthday is December 14th, and we would do an Italian party in between
Her birthday and Christmas.
No, Thanksgiving
Oh.
and Christmas, which was right around her birthday.
Wow.
And we would celebrate her birthday. And finally, she was like, I think she told my ex-wife, they always celebrate my birthday on the Italian party. And I was like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That is, yeah. So I obviously celebrate his birthday on Christmas Eve. So the Mexican culture, we celebrate midnight Christmas Eve. So we'll celebrate his birthday, and then at midnight we'll open gifts. But I would overcompensate because I know how that was like growing up. So, but let's see. But yeah, so back to
Yeah,
I put
home.
you at the shelter.
yeah. So the shelter, and I haven't really talked about this just because. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys because I'm sure a lot of people have questions like, okay, what happened to the baby's dad? You know? So when you're a minor and your parents sign you into a shelter, they still have legal rights over you and they can still like control you. Right. So until you turn 18 and then now you're obviously legally to be on your own. So they made it to where I was not allowed to call anybody. I didn't have a phone or anything. I completely disappeared. This was summertime going into like my senior year and I completely disappeared. No one knew what happened to me. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have anyone's numbers. And so, you know, people were talking like, where's Kayla? So the only two people I was allowed to call was my parents, which I'm not going to call, obviously, and my sister. But my sister just turned 18. So she's out there in the world going crazy because we've been sheltered our whole lives. So she was living her best life.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I finally convinced her one day. I'm like, please come here to the shelter. I need to go to my baby dad's house and tell him where I'm at, because I completely disappeared and it was weeks. So I showed up to his house. So she picked me up. I showed up to his house. He answers the door and he was like, Kayla, where have you been? And I told him what happened. I was breaking down. I was super hurt. And I was like, you know, I was 17 years old, pregnant. My parents just like literally gave me up. Like the only really thought I had in my mind was, let's get married and do this family thing, right? Because I was like the only thing or family that I had. And that's the moment that he looked at me straight in the eyes. He started crying, and I thought it was like happy tears. And it was basically him. He was like, I'm getting married and she's pregnant.
To someone else.
To someone else. And get
I
this.
didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. And come to find out, he basically was having another relationship that I didn't know about, and got her pregnant. And now he has 2 sons that are 1 month apart, both named Jordan. Oh, I'm going to write a book about this. I'm going to do a movie on this. This is very, make this out. You cannot make this shit up.
Both named Jordan.
Both named Jordan.
What's his name? Okay. I thought his name might have been Jordan.
No, the reason why is because we spoke about it when I went to the hospital to get the
ultrasound.
Yes. You know, he was there with me. And so we were talking about names, and he mentioned Jordan. And I said, I absolutely love that name. For some reason, it just has a ring to it, Jordan. And I knew I was going to give my son my last name. So it's Jordan Cardona. And I knew that I was like, that's such a powerful name. I'm going to keep that. His last name, I'm going to say it, Hernandez. And I'm like, God, there's so many Hernandezes in the world. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. When I found out that his other son was named Jordan, I immediately called him, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Right? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's off.
And I'm just like, why did you do that? He was like, I didn't think you would name him Jordan. I'm like, oh my God, you're so yeah. So that's, yeah.
He has 2 Jordans.
Did Michelangelo, did I hear him laugh?
Yeah, he snickered. He snickered. It wasn't a laugh, it was a snicker.
Those a little raises, but it's true. Too many fucking Hernandezes.
Hey, I'm half Mexican. I have the card. I can say that.
Michelangelo's all Mexican. He's got the card too.
For a second though, I had to go through my mind of what his last name was. No. I was like, no, it's not.
I'm Michelangelo though, so
yeah.
Green card.
I mean, it's kind of funny because Michelangelo is an Italian name, right? Michelangelo. Well, it's also a Ninja Turtle name, but
yeah.
But Michelangelo is the painter from Italy.
Yeah.
And now I make podcasts.
And now you paint podcasts. No. Okay. So back on track.
Yeah,
but I just had to take a minute because I thought
2 Jordans. He's crying. He told you he's got another girl.
She's pregnant. Wow. They're going to get married. Wow. Yeah.
He has 2 sons a month apart. Who's older? Well, obviously yours.
The other kid.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see that one coming
I didn't see that one coming either.
Whoa.
So he was born in November. My son was born in December. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just so we can timeline everything here, when did your parents send you to the shelter? How many months pregnant?
Do you know what month that was?
Yeah, it was 7 months pregnant.
7 months.
Yeah.
So you were already 7 months. You just disappeared at 7 months. So the other girl must have been close to 8 months. So he was keeping a secret, bro.
Yeah, he was.
So it's not like he was keeping a secret.
Yeah.
The whole time.
I had no idea.
Wow.
Yeah. And, I was in high school and I wasn't allowed to go out or anything. So, he did.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that was happening. And listen, I was 17 in high school. I couldn't even talk about boys. So for people to think we were actually serious, we really weren't.
Yeah.
It's just, he was my high school boyfriend that my parents didn't know about, and they didn't know I was obviously having sex. So
I hope Gia doesn't have one of those.
Oh God.
Why even say that? Why even put it? I'm so confused. Why even put it out there? I was thinking the same thing about my daughter.
You were thinking about Maya.
Yeah. I was thinking, I should talk to her, or maybe her mother should. Pretty soon here too.
Yeah. You have to really build that trust between your relationship with your kids because you want them to be able to feel comfortable enough
100%.
to come up to you.
And you know what? My wife, we're on that because it wasn't for my wife and her family. It was very uncomfortable. Those kinds of intimate conversations with family. Yeah. So we're changing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Break that cycle because that's the reason. If my parents knew what I was doing and I was comfortable enough to come to them, I'm not saying I regret my son. I never do.
No.
Like, obviously he is my entire life. He's the reason why I'm still living. But it definitely would have gone a different way. Yeah. So, but yeah, so going back. So yeah, at that moment, I just remember my whole life literally turned black. I don't remember much after that. I just went straight into survival mode. And it was a very dark place for me. And I developed an eating disorder. I wasn't eating. And the doctor basically was like, Kayla, if you don't eat, you're going to lose your child. And so I was so depressed. And I was basically like on autopilot. And I was, okay, I'm feeling a little something right here. Emotions are coming back. I haven't really spoke this deep about my story in a while. So sorry.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah. So, whew. I just remember existing and just not having anyone to turn to. Everyone I thought I loved was gone. And I just felt so abandoned. And it just started creating a lot of mental issues. And it was hard. It was really hard. And I just remember sitting in that shelter, looking around me, and all the women, all the girls that were there were addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, were in abusive relationships. But I was there because my family didn't want me anymore. And I just continued this victim mentality of why me? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving of love. No one loves me. My baby dad completely chose someone else. And it was very hard. And mind you, I'm 17 years old.
Yeah.
And so that was tough. So on my 18th birthday, I had my son 4 days later. And even though I turned 18, the rule of the shelter was when you have your child, you have to go back home for a couple of weeks and then come back. And so after my son was born, I did have to go home for a couple of weeks. And thank you. And I just remember, I just existed in the house, barely spoke to my parents. It was dark, very dark. And as soon as my time was up, I then had to go to a different shelter because I was no longer a minor. So I went to Casa Teresa in Orange at the Orange Circle, and I was 18, and all the women in there were in like their 40s, like late 30s. So that's when I kind of started seeing the light a little bit because they treated me like their little sister. And I got so much love there, but I was still on autopilot. I was still going down that like dark road of like not being good enough, like all the issues. And, but I finished high school. I got my driver license. I bought my first car. Like I was seeing the light. And so, I recently, visited them, and I asked them, cause my memory is so choppy during that time. And, they basically told me that when people would talk to me, I would just look at them like in a blank stare, and they're just like, hello.
Wow.
Hello. And I'm just like, I just had no response to anything. I was just existing, and it was a hard time. And there was different levels to that shelter, and I made it to 2 levels. And then the third, I'm very, very prideful. So I basically was like, I'm going to make it on my own. And yeah. And then, gosh, without saying too much, after the shelter, I was desperate for help. And so I had a high school friend that basically was like, move in with me. My family will help you. And then I started getting in a relationship with him, and then that didn't work out. And mind you, this is high school friends. So these are 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
Met boys, you know, and then I left that situation because I got in contact with my high school sweetheart, which wasn't the baby daddy. And he was like moving with me again, went to another home because I was so desperate for help. And then that relationship became very abusive. And then I said, I can't do this anymore. So then I started renting rooms off of Craigslist for like $500 a month.
Yeah.
And literally had a mattress, some clothes, some toys, and it was very easy to move. And I started renting rooms, you know, after I left that, I was actually homeless, but I was too prideful to call my parents because the last thing I wanted to hear from them was, I told you so. And so I slept in my car with my baby literally in the back seat in the streets of Santa Ana until I had the courage to call my tia Concha. And I told her, you know, just give me a place to stay just for a couple of days until I find a place. And she said, okay. I moved all my shit in her house. Next day I wake up, all my shit's gone. My own family friends stole from me. And I was like, I have to get the fuck out of here. And that's when I started renting the rooms. And then renting rooms, being this little Latina who I am, there was other things that, you know, I was sexually harassed multiple times. It was just a very dark place for me. So I was working 3 jobs, trying to provide, working day and night. The good thing about me being a young mom is I had the energy to do that. You know, I could sleep for 2 hours and it's okay. I could sleep at the Main Place Mall restaurants, bathroom stalls, take a quick nap and continue to work. Like that's what I used to do. So yeah.
You know, I want to validate her feelings of being a victim because she actually was it was victimizing.
Yeah.
It was. So for you to pull out of that, it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that mentality, I mean, you know, God.
It showed me how much I have grown and matured and how much I've learned over the years to be able to have that healthy relationship, because I've never experienced or seen a healthy relationship my whole life. All my parents are all divorced. My aunts, my uncles divorced or have no baby daddy around. They're on welfare. You know, they're in Section 8 housing. Like they have that struggling lifestyle. And so that's what I know. That's all that I know. And, but of course I'm going to break that cycle. Right. So yeah.
Well, I think you're already there, because not bringing men into your life while you're raising a child is extremely smart. I really respect that. You know, and I always tell Chad regarding his family, you know, he had a similar, you know, his ex-wife was extremely brought up well also like that. And you know, yeah, that's the right way.
My ex-wife, when we got divorced, and the reason why we got divorced was because I relapsed and I put her through hell. And at one point I was like, I can't promise her that I'm not going to continue putting her through hell. So I like loved her enough to let her go, because I didn't want to continue hurting her the way I was hurting her. And
that takes so much courage and so much bravery. And that takes a real man to do that. So
it's really hard.
Yeah.
My son was like 10 and when we got divorced, her job was, she was just going to be a mom and she was going to raise my son. And she wanted to, you know, keep the same last name while he went through school. And then right around 16, when he was, you know, getting older and had his own car and his own life, she met somebody. And now she's remarried.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Happy. Yeah. But she did it right, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also gave her that space to be able to bring someone else into her life that, you know, was ready at the time.
Yeah.
So that's good for you that you did that.
I think I'm a pretty good ex-husband.
You are. You are. Kudos, bro. Yeah. She works right next door.
Hopefully 2 doors
He's
down.
really good. 2 doors down. You know what I mean?
Hopefully I'm a better husband now than I was before.
Yeah. You are that too. You've grown, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
These are the nicest things you've ever said
Oh,
to me.
please.
What's going on?
Come
Did
on,
she
bro.
like bring emotion to you today?
No, maybe she did.
Usually
her
you're
story's
mean
very,
to me.
her story's very, you know, uplifting and
Actually,
heartwarming.
it's really good.
Yeah, it's really quite incredible.
I didn't know what to expect. I don't know your story, and we don't, and obviously, nobody knows the depths that you just told us your story. But it's one of the greatest things to me is I don't really look too deep into our guests before they come on, because I want to be surprised.
Yeah.
So that's why we do it weird. Like we don't have like questions that we ask. I kind of feel like this podcast exists because I lost my son-in-law. It'll be a year on 9/11.
Yeah.
And that's why this podcast exists. So for me, this podcast exists is because God asked me to do this, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm doing it. And every time I sit down with a guest, Shane and I sit down, whatever happens from the time we sit down and put these headphones on, from the beginning to the end, I believe that's exactly what God wanted to happen. Even Shane getting up and sweating and turning on the fan, and all that, right? You're not sweating anymore now, are you? Are you, Shane?
I'm good now.
What's your like when you sit down? Are you like Shane Earn?
No,
or
Shane
Are you
Shane
Shahern?
Shahern.
Like it's kind of like a character when you just start doing this podcast.
Yeah.
It's like, is it like that for you when you do the show?
No, I'm completely 100% myself on the show. It's when I go on stages is when I have to kind of tap into my alter ego.
Yeah.
Because I am seriously afraid of public speaking. Believe it or not.
No, I believe it because
we believe it.
like I have the biggest fear ever.
Yeah.
You know, and we were like both sitting there like sweating. We didn't talk to each other before we went up on the stage. And now I can get used to it. But I still have the fear every single time. Yeah. If I get used to it, then I'm like a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
Or you learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I love it because every time I do it, I'm challenging myself to grow.
Yep. Exactly.
Even if I've blown it before.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten on stage and I started sweating, pouring sweat, and I had to like leave the stage, like cut my whatever I was saying really short.
I still do it.
You do?
I did last time. Recover Out Loud. I was just going to do 30 seconds. I was up there. Not even.
Oh, I started sweating at that thing too. It was hot in the back.
Yeah, with the lights and stuff. Yeah, it got pretty warm.
What I learned to do is to like a lot of times if I'm asked to public speak somewhere, I become a kind of a diva. And I request things like, can you make sure the room is nice and cold? If it can't be cold, can there be a fan blowing on me? Yeah. Like just silly stuff like that. Because if I start sweating in it, you're a bald head guy.
It's all over.
It's all over and it's really embarrassing.
Dripping down your nose.
Yeah. I had like a written one time.
Oh yeah, me too.
3 pages.
I dripped right through mine.
Dude,
ink was blurred.
Somebody came and handed me a stack of paper towels and I like stopped. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this will help you a little bit. So I would get when I first started. I've been speaking on stages for a while now, but when I first started, I remember I was very, very nervous, and I had a friend tell me, you know, I know why you get nervous. I'm like, okay, tell me, because I would love to know. He was like, because you're selfish, and I looked at him and I was like, what huh? Like, what do you mean? What, I'm selfish? He was like, well, because when you go on stage, you're making it about you when it's not about you. It's about everybody else and the message that they need to hear from you. Mm-hmm. So when you switch your mindset into you are doing God's work that you're meant to do, and someone in the audience needs to hear your message, even if it's just one person, just think about that person that has to hear your message to help change their life.
Right.
So I think when you think that way before going on stage, that would be a lot helpful. And number 2, I found that instead of speaking to the audience, speak to one person.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
I pick the one person in the audience who's paying the most attention and seems like they're really interested. Because if I start looking around and somebody's on their phone and they're not paying attention, and I'm like, start to question.
Insecurities start creeping in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You also have to remember that the people that are in the audience
Are just as crazy as us.
they won't even get up and do it. Most
No.
of them.
No.
True.
And you're already on stage. So they're already thinking like, oh my gosh, what is this person about to say? Like, this
Right.
is great. Like they're there to
For a
hear you
reason,
speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I felt pretty cool when we came off of the stage because I actually didn't know that you were going to be on stage with us. And then I came off and everybody started coming up to us
yeah.
and they were like,
Hey.
yeah. And I was like, what, you guys think I'm as cool as Kayla?
Right?
Definitely
They
cool.
want they
Yes.
wanted to take pictures
Yeah,
with
it was
me.
awesome.
Like, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah.
I'm just Chad.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Well, it was great. Yeah. Meeting you guys, obviously. And just being in that environment is the best.
It is.
Because it's just like everyone is has that growth mindset. I don't know how that voice just changed. But, you know, because everyone at the end of the day, like, we're all here to help each other. And we're all human. And we're all trying to figure this shit out too, you know? And if we have the voice, then it's our job and duty to use our voice.
Yeah, God gave me this voice, man, and I was just like, I didn't even question it. I have to tell you the funny story about this. So, like, God was like, "Hey, create a podcast. Here's the name, the Hopeaholics." What else did He tell me?
Get Shane.
He said, "Get Shane."
Get Shane.
He said, "Grab Shane.
Grab Shane.
You're gonna build a podcast."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." So I did it. I built it, and then all of a sudden, the studio was built, and we had our first guest coming in, and I came into work, and I stepped on the ground, and I was like, "Oh shit! I have to actually do a podcast now. I've never done a podcast. I'm gonna suck." And I was like, "It's okay if you suck, because everybody sucks the first time, right?" So, but then I came in to work, and like it was what about an hour before we were about to go live.
Yeah, you had to hit the streets.
I had a panic attack, straight panic attack.
Big
Oh
one.
my God.
I started pouring sweat. I had to leave the building. I like ran out of the building, got in my car. It was raining outside because it was still winter. I cranked the AC on and I sat in front of Flame Broiler in San Juan over here. And I just sat there for like 20 minutes, calming myself down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Prayed.
And look at where you're at now.
Right.
Now I just come in.
This was
and
just
it's
2
like-
weeks ago.
What?
No.
Oh,
Joking.
Oh yeah, we didn't tell you that this is our third podcast.
Oh gosh.
And that's all of our guests
Yeah.
right there behind you.
Yeah.
So badass.
Like we're actually super excited. We can't wait until you sign.
Yes.
just-
Oh my God, how fun. I'm so
We
stoked.
might have you sign over there next to Tim's story though.
Yeah.
Yes, please. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
God, he's
Dreams
great.
come true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was our first podcast. So with Natalie was the host.
Yeah.
That was our first podcast. It was good.
Oh.
Tim is great because like you sit down and I was like, am I the guest?
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how I feel whenever I'm around him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just happy to be in your presence.
I know. It's cool.
He's
Yeah.
so good.
He is good.
Yeah.
He has
He takes control of the office. About the
he has
area.
a serious gift.
Yeah.
And then you know when he speaks, he reminds you, and I want to learn how to do this. He reminds you what he already said. So he'll like, you know,
Repeat it in a good way in thoughts.
he'll repeat the
Any
things
questions?
he already said.
Yeah.
So then you remember it.
Yeah.
I only remembered one of them.
I don't remember any.
The inventory part, take an
No.
inventory.
No.
Were you listening?
I was over there in the chair, bro. It was not intimate for me,
Oh.
that one. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Is that one already out?
No.
No.
Not yet. Okay.
Probably Friday.
Okay. I'm going to listen to that. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'll listen to that one too.
Okay.
Maybe.
You need to tell your audience that you listen to every
I listen to
podcast.
all of them.
Do you?
No.
No?
No.
All right.
No, I don't.
Sad.
So you've never gone garden raiding, you guys? I've never done that before.
He's back to the garden reading.
What did you guys do growing up? Oh, I know what you did.
I didn't grow up around any gardens.
You're right. Yeah, we had gardens back in Canada.
So, I mean, we went and took oranges from the orange groves, but we mostly like threw them at
oh,
cars
that's
that would drive by.
right. You had orange
You
grove.
didn't do any of that stuff?
No. I'm telling you,
Oh,
I
she
was
was too
very
busy, bro.
sheltered.
Sheltered?
She was too busy.
I was too sheltered. I wasn't
Wow.
allowed to do anything
Wow.
ever.
So I have some more questions for you since we got to a certain point, right? you had your son, the Craigslist houses or rooms. Where did we go from there?
I think, just trying to provide renting rooms. And then I tried to go to college. That didn't work. And then I was like, you know what? Let me go to beauty school. I'm really good with hair and makeup. And let me just do that. So I did go to beauty school, finished, became a cosmetologist, built my way up. Like I started off as an assistant, and then I got into a salon. And then I built a business to a point where I got my own salon suite, and I was running a very successful business, and I was doing well financially. But I still had to work in the nightclubs. So I bartended and bottle serviced since I was 21. So for like 10 years I did that. And, I knew that I was meant to do more, and I just didn't know what it was. And I had very high-end clientele. Like I had like my own salon suite with an ocean view in Newport Beach. Like I went up like that high. And so, all my clients were men because I was a barber at the time. And they basically were all entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, real estate investors. And they would all kind of tell me, because I built all those relationships. And so they were like, you should look into real estate. And I was just like, huh? Like, I don't even have a computer, number one. Number two, no one in my family's in real estate. I wouldn't even, what? Like, that's so random. And they're like, well, I'm really good with people. I very much care for people. And, real estate is all about relationships, right? So I started getting introduced to this world of luxury, which I've never experienced or seen in my life, like mansions, boats, yachts. And I'm just like, what is this world? I want to be a part of it. So me and my friend, we're like, you know what, let's just get our license and see what happens. So I ended up getting my license. She didn't get her license, but I ended up finishing and getting my license. And I was like, well, I'm licensed now. Let me put this to use. And a friend of a friend got me connected with this team in San Clemente. And they were high producers. And, I came in and I was like, look, I got my license. I have no experience, but I have everything you cannot teach. So I would like to work here and, start here. And they're like, well, we don't hire new agents, but we do have room for you assisting a top producer here. And that way you can learn. I was like, perfect. So I was cutting hair, assisting a top producer, and bartending. What?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I was doing all of that. And then I was making a percentage off the guy that I was assisting.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was killing it, like selling multiple homes a month. Like maybe he was closing like 7 homes a month. So I was making all that money. And I was just like, okay, I could actually start releasing and letting go. It was very bittersweet for me to let go because I was in beauty for 10 years. And that was my entire career. So it was very bittersweet, but I just knew like I need something more. I'm meant for something more in life. So I started letting go of clients. And then it came down to me working full time at the real estate office and then still bartending. So it went really well. But then we started butting heads. And I was like, okay, either I'm going to stay here and be an actual agent and not work for this guy anymore. I'm going to move somewhere else. So I told them, I said, listen, I want to be an agent now because I was just assisting. He was like, well, we don't have room for you. I'm like, great, I'm going to leave. So I started going to other offices and trying to figure out where I'm going to work because I felt ready. Like I want to do this on my own and make real money. So I get a phone call the next day. And it was them, the team I was working with. And they were just like, well, actually, because they did put so much time and money into me and that the fact that I was valuable and they knew that. So, and they knew I was standing firm in, okay, I'm going to leave and you guys are going to lose my value. So he basically was like, we can go ahead and start training you to be an agent. I'm like, perfect. So 6 months in being an agent, I was closing 1 to 2 deals a month. I was killing it. And then like I got like my first luxury apartment. Like I was like, this is great. Like this, I was still like kind of bartending because was also very hard for me to let go because I was easy cash. And I don't know. I've always had 2 jobs or more. So it was like ingrained in my DNA to constantly be working. And so, and then 6 months in, Netflix contacted me and I thought it was a spam. Like yeah,
that's cool.
I probably would have spammed it.
Oh, guaranteed you.
Well, no, that's what I did. I was like, okay, delete spam, right? And then they found my email and they emailed me, and the signature was Done and Done Productions. And I Googled it. I was like, no fucking way.
Wow.
Sorry, jeez.
No, it's
Fine.
fine.
No, it's good.
We
It's
cuss
good.
a lot.
Yeah, we always
Okay,
cuss.
good.
Yeah, no. It makes
Um,
it makes it a little bit more spicy.
Yeah.
We're not boring. We're not boring. Do we look
Yeah.
conservative to you?
No,
I mean, we're conservative,
maybe
but
a
we're
little.
not like.
Just kidding. I'm kidding. So, no, that's why I was able to just come in with a t-shirt and not even t-shirt, tank top and jeans, you know, because I was like, these are cool guys. Like, I don't want to have to dress up. Like, I don't feel that way with you guys. With you guys, I just feel like I just be myself and it's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want our podcast to be like boring and like dressed up because like who the fuck would want to watch that?
No.
But you know what? When I'm out there and I'm the CEO of the Infinity Group and Hope by the Sea in the winter time, I'm in a tie. But
2 months a year.
yeah, it's too fucking hot.
It's too
dude.
hot, bro. It's too hot.
I've been having a hard time. I've just been wearing like short sleeve button down shirts lately to work.
Yeah.
That's all I can deal with right now. I can't deal with this heat that's going on.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'm like
Netflix called you. You
complaining.
weren't
Netflix
sure. Down
called.
and down. Wow.
He wants to know.
I'm just sitting here
I
waiting.
know,
So
it's
they
great
called.
stuff,
so
isn't it?
so
It's
down,
okay.
We
done
gotta
and
make
done.
not our listeners wait a little bit. Got to
All right.
cliffhanger.
So what do you want us to
Should we
talk
do
about?
run our commercial now? No, just kidding.
That's funny.
Done
Yeah.
and done.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually like real. And so I was like, okay. And this was like during COVID time. So everything was like super delayed. And, you know, things started happening at the office that I will not speak of.
Come
but
on.
I know it was, I don't want to get anyone in trouble,
Off air.
but let's just put it this way. I was the only woman in the office.
You were
Mm.
the only one?
I was the only one.
Oh, wow.
So, for a while, and then eventually during the time that I was about to leave, another older agent that used to be there came back, and she was, obviously a woman, and, I absolutely adore her. We're still friends today, but, so I was like, okay, there's a reason why this opportunity came to me, even though first of all, I've heard of Selling Sunset, but I've never watched it. I never watched it. I didn't have a TV. I didn't have a TV until last year when my show first came out because I would
She had to buy a TV just to watch her
just
show.
to watch my show.
cool.
Yes.
It's cool.
So I've heard about it, but I never watched it. So, anyways, so I went through the process of the interviews, which was on Zoom because it was during COVID. And then, I was like, you know what, let me see if I could watch Selling Sunset really quick to see like what I'm getting myself into. And the first episode was like, I think it was the first season, first episode, and the girls were wearing red bottom shoes walking on a construction site. And I was like, this is such bullshit. Like, what? That's not even realistic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is dumb. And then I was just watching it. And then I was like, ugh, okay, well, I don't know about this. And then when they told me that I had to leave my brokerage if I was to be on the show, I said, absolutely not. I'm very, very loyal, even though I was dealing with some stuff at the office. I'm very loyal. And I was in a really good place. I was making really good money. And I didn't want to leave that because it was a risk if I was, you know? So long story short, I went through the inspection. God, real estate mind. Hold on. I went interviews.
Interview.
Yeah. Interviews. And, you know, when I did watch Selling Sunset, if you guys have seen it, the majority of the women are tall, skinny, white, blonde, right? I'm short, brown, tatted, like complete opposite. So I was like, why would they want like to interview me, you know? And then I got that call and Adam Davila was on that call. And I didn't know who Adam Davila was. And do you guys know Adam
No,
Davila?
I still don't know who he is.
Yeah, so he is the guy that did the OC. Yeah, that reality show.
Yeah.
Like it was like the first reality show while reality shows were becoming popular during the time. So I think he did the OC, and I think he did Laguna Beach too. I could be wrong. I don't know. I never watched those shows either.
Did you hear the name? Where's your headphones? Adam DeVille. DeVillo.
Yeah.
Pull him up.
Yeah. So he was on the con. I didn't know who he was. And he was like, I'm Adam. I was like, oh, yeah, nice to meet you. Okay, great. You're like just another face.
Yeah.
And that's when he told me, he was like, well, we would like to cast you. And I was like, it took me a minute to process because I was like, what?
Wow.
Me?
It's awesome.
Why? And then later on, I found out that literally tens of thousands of agents interviewed and only, at the time, it was 9 of us. 9 of us that got chosen. And I was one of those.
That's
9.
awesome.
Like, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. You guys are really pulling him up, huh? Oh, DeVillo. DeVille.
How do you spell that?
DEVILO.
I don't know. DeVille. Oh, there it is. Oh, wait, go back. DVI, I think. Yep, the second one down. Yep, there he is. Oh, there's like no photos of him. Oh, the Hills. He also did the Hills. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Hills.
Yeah, which I never.
The
saw
Hills
either.
was part of Laguna Beach.
Oh, that's Harper. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Selling. Well, now that's
Selling Sunset, Selling Tampa, which got canceled. Yeah. Oh, that's him. There he is. Yeah.
So he was on the call. I mean,
yeah, he was on the call, and I had no idea who he was. Oops. So, but yeah, and then going through that transition of switching brokerages was hard, very hard, because my last brokerage, they were paying for Zillow leads. And so even though I was getting a smaller commission, I was getting like guaranteed money because I know how to close. Like that's my talent. I can close anybody. But it, having to prospect, being a newer agent in the industry, it was really hard to navigate. So, but yeah, I mean, and now I'm on the show, and it's like it's opened so many doors. And when during season 1, have you guys watched it?
No.
Oh, you guys have.
No. Sorry.
It's okay. It's more of like
we could have at least watched one episode.
At least
right?
one. Wah.
Isn't that terrible? I'm gonna watch it now. I'm gonna watch it with my wife.
I'm gonna watch the whole. My wife watches it.
Yeah, my wife watches it.
Yeah.
I told my wife for coming. She was excited. She wanted to come and sit down.
Yeah.
No.
So you told her no?
I said no.
Oh,
This is professional right here.
Unbelievable, Shane. Unbelievable. Thank God his wife doesn't listen to the podcast.
Right?
This is the one that she's going to listen
Probably.
to.
yeah,
Probably.
she is.
Yeah.
But during season 1, it's like, we're walking in like a new environment. We don't have any experience being on reality shows. The cameras are in your face. You're like, there's so many things going through your mind. And at the time, I was going through personal things. Like I lost people in my family. I was completely broke. Like I was just, because I stopped working at the old brokerage, and then I just got into this my first luxury apartments, and it was very expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like freaking out. I was living on savings for a while. So I was you'll see in season 1, I'm very emotional, and I was going through a lot. And so it got to a point where the show, in a sense, kind of became my identity. And I would wake up thinking about it and going to sleep thinking about it. And it was very unhealthy. And then after watching the show back, when I watched myself, I just looked at me and I was like, who the is this? This isn't the Kayla Cardona that used to live in shelters, that overcame being homeless and went through all the shit that she's gone through to look like that.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Who is this? So that's when I literally just put my blindfolds on. I stayed in my lane. I got very focused on me and my business and everything that I want to do. And I kind of had to just remind myself like why I'm here. and why I have this opportunity in the first place. And that's when it finally hit me that the reason why God brought this show to me is to just put me on this bigger platform to reach and help as many people as possible. And that's exactly what he's been doing. And ever since I recommitted to him on 7/7/23, he's been opening so many doors for me. And I've been speaking on so many more stages. I'm working on a book now and even a movie. I'm coaching people. It's unbelievable.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So now I just, when I show up on set, it's like, okay, I come in, do my thing, leave. I don't even think about it. I'm like, it's not even, that's not me. That's not my identity. It's just a platform to me. So I'm very thankful.
It's nice that you could pick up your socks, so to speak, and remind yourself who you were, goal orientated, objectives, and get the job done.
Exactly.
I think we have to do that often though in life, and really look at ourselves and like, why am I acting like that? But you were going through a growth stage. And what's crazy about that is you got to watch.
Yeah,
yourself.
bro, you're right. You did.
Most people don't. We don't get to
can't get back on TV, bro.
Yeah.
You're
rewind it.
Yeah.
Watch
Did I
it.
say that?
And go,
wow.
You know what? I don't like that version of myself.
That's cool.
Oh, and exactly. And when I was looking, it's like half of the time, no joke. This is actually very uncomfortable for me to admit, but half of the time I was filming, I was completely drunk. Like I blacked out several times. I know. So when I looking back, because I was so nervous, so I would just start taking tequila shots, drinking champagne, which is a terrible mix. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like they're not that I have like an alcoholic problem, but I was trying to like be more comfortable and I was turning to alcohol for that. But then it caused me to be a lot more emotional and it caused me to say shit I would never actually say. Like, it was like, we all get like super emotional, especially when you're drunk off tequila.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So from there, I decided literally I hardly even drink anymore. Like, and I made that to myself. Like, I'm not 100% sober, but I will have like maybe a drink and that's it. Because what it did to me and how I looked was so disgusting for me to watch. I'm like, I'm not going to let alcohol do that to me. Yeah. So now it's like, I barely even drink. So, but that was another lesson that I learned, looking back at yourself. And you're right. Not a lot of people have that opportunity to look at themselves and be like, whoa, that's not right. So it was a little slap in the face. I got a little hate from it. I got mostly love, but I got some hate, and watch it and you'll see why. But the truth comes out season 2 and I come back real strong.
Nice.
And karma's a bitch.
So season 2, are you guys currently filming right now? Or
no, it comes out September 8th.
So it's already done.
It's already done. We're also done with season 3. Well, we're doing
That's
like
awesome.
pickups. Yeah. We're doing some pickups.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah. So that comes out next year. Season 3 does. I don't know. I have no idea when, but season 2 will be really good. So I'm excited.
Nice. We'll definitely be watching.
I'm going to watch it. I'll
Yeah.
watch it.
I'm going to watch season 1 now.
I'm going to watch start tonight.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You going to binge it?
Probably.
You going to fall asleep too?
Probably. I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to binge it because it
I'll binge it
always
for sure.
ends with like, wait, what's gonna happen next?
Right.
So you can finish it one day.
And I have watched. Selling OC, not OC, selling California or whatever in Florida.
Selling Tampa?
New York. They had New York. Those guys in New York.
Oh, that's $1 Million Listing.
$1 Million Listing.
Yeah,
I used to love watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
What's the difference? So this is who is the what do you call it? The brokers, the agency.
The Oppenheim Group.
The Oppenheim Group. Have you heard of them?
No.
So the Oppenheim, it's a smaller boutique, meaning we only have, now we have 4 offices. Not that long ago, we just had 2. So we have the one in LA and West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And Jason Oppenheim, which is the broker and owner, he just moved into a bigger office at the LA office. So it's just right next door, but it's bigger and it's extremely extravagant, so gorgeous. And then he opened the one in Newport Beach, Corona Del Mar, right off PCH in Larkspur. And then he just opened the one in Cabo San Lucas and then in La Jolla.
Cabo's up and coming.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the majority of the people buying property out
all
there
here.
are from here in
Yeah,
Orange
yeah,
County.
yeah.
Exactly.
I love Cabo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's beautiful.
I
So
haven't been.
we go to Cabo in season 2. So that's fun.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I used
so
to
you
race
have
from Ensenada to Cabo.
Oh, really?
Dune buggies.
Oh, fun.
Dune buggies?
Well,
I thought it was a truck.
trucks. Yeah, I just was making it more simple for a
Oh.
female.
I know trucks more than I do.
Okay,
you
sorry.
know.
All right.
It's okay.
See? That wasn't right. That wasn't nice of me to do.
No,
No,
rude.
rude. It was rude.
That's very Canadian of you.
That wasn't rude.
That's all right. That's what a story of success.
I
man.
mean, really, it really
crazy.
is. And my favorite part, there's so many good parts, but my favorite part is that you watched yourself on season 1 and you told yourself that's not the girl that was
Yeah.
homeless in a shelter,
yeah,
that pulled herself out of that.
that's strength.
Like, I love that shit
Yeah,
because like my story, I have a story of 5 years of homelessness. Not like shopping cart homelessness, but like drug addiction, you know, trying to sell drugs. I was never good at it. Staying in really crappy motels to, you know, owning and operating the Infinity Group and 6 drug and alcohol treatment centers throughout Southern California and growing to owning multiple properties in Orange County.
Orange County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Huge.
this building. You want to know something interesting about this building that you're sitting in?
Please tell me.
So we own this building, and the city of San Juan has just rezoned this whole area here to commercial residential, like they did in Dana Point.
Oh.
You know what happened to the value of this building?
Well, I'm sure it skyrocketed.
Yeah, it's
Holy
skyrocketed.
cow. That's amazing.
That's like God.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just happened to buy this warehouse away. Okay, the reason why we bought this like warehouse type building away from like mainstream society is because every time we put our treatment center in mainstream society, they complain.
Yeah.
They love what I do for a living. I'll tell people, what do you do for a living? Oh, I run drug and alcohol treatment centers and mental health facilities. And they're like, oh,
You're so good.
bless your heart.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. Where are you opening up
Yeah,
next?
where are you guys?
Oh.
And I'm like, we're right here. And
No.
they're like, oh, I live there.
It's true.
You have them in my neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
It's ugly.
Yeah, we do, motherfuckers. We have drug and alcohol treatment centers because everybody needs help.
Yep.
And not all drug addicts are the homeless people on the streets talking to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They probably need help too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another reason why this podcast exists.
What's that movie with Will Smith when he was with the kid? That's what reminds me of your story.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny
You know
that
what
you
I
say
mean?
that because
Pursuit of happiness.
Like, that's
pursuit
the
of
feeling I
happiness.
get. You're
Yeah.
sleeping in the car. He's got his foot against the door in the subway.
There it
Someone's
is.
trying to get in.
my
That was, I don't know what he just
God.
said right there.
Yep.
Do you know what that word meant? Against?
Okay. No. Well, no, but
Against,
I understand. I understand him.
Against.
That
Foot
was-
against. You remember when they were
Yeah.
trying to get in, he's crying and holding his
Yeah.
kid and anything to get to that next level.
Oh yeah, I remember sleeping in the restroom stalls, and the cleaning lady would bang on the
Yeah.
thing, and I'm just like, "Oh, are you okay? You've been in there," and da da da. And I was just like, "Oh no, sorry." I would come
Yeah.
up with some excuses, but
Dozed off for a second.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I haven't seen that in a long time, but I remember when I first saw
Yeah.
it, it brought, oh my God, I was a mess.
Whole bunch of memories back.
So
right?
much memories because it's very
Damn.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a beautiful story
Yeah.
you have.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, it's something that,
A remarkable human being.
yeah, and you can. There's a sense of accomplishment. I like to use the word accomplishment because as like Christians, and we don't want to be prideful, but you can still be proud of yourself
Yeah.
for the accomplishments that you have achieved.
Yeah.
Because it takes strength to go from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
You know, and you're rising out of the ashes. I love that stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, I just remember, and I think I told you this when I first met you, but I just remember that I had no idea how I was going to do it. And I had absolutely nothing. But the one thing I did have was hope that it's going to work out. Somehow, some way, I have no idea. And this was during a time where I didn't even believe in God. I was so far from him because I was so lost. I was very lost for a very long time. But he still worked for me. And he still was faithful to me. And it's incredible because every single thing that has happened, I can tell you, has led me to the next level and step in my life to get me ready for that, good and bad. All the good and bad things. The bad things that happen to you while you're going through it, you don't see it like that.
You don't.
You don't. But the thing is that you need to go through those bad times because God is only preparing you for what he has in store for you and what's next.
Yeah. And the difference, and everybody has the ability to do what you are doing, but not everybody does it.
Yeah.
And that hearing stories like this though, give people out there hope.
Yeah.
Opportunity, possibilities opens up their minds. They start to dream again, bro. She's giving a lot of people an opportunity to start to dream again that are suffering and pain with a single child at home with nothing coming in and no future ahead of them. She's allowing them to dream. That's fucking awesome.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Your story is amazing. It's to me, some of the stuff you were talking about reminded me of when Natalie was telling her story, and it was just like these doors just are opening up for you.
Well, and she renewed her faith. What, 7/7/23?
Yep.
Yeah.
Recommitted. Yeah.
Yeah. So she renewed her faith, and then since then, things just been, like she said, she's been special all the time.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
God,
and I like that because even when you're not, talking to God, he's still walking.
Yeah,
Sometimes
totally.
those are the times when he's carrying us, and we're so far removed. I've had times when God and I were not even friends, at least not on my side. But he's always been there and loved
watching
me.
out. Yeah.
You know what I love though about you just said that those tough times, like you go through these really hard times, and we all go through really hard times in life, and most of the time, or at least until now, we don't realize that it's setting us up for the next level and the next thing in our life. I'll tell you what though, now when I'm going through tough stuff, I'm like, damn, what does God have in store for me next?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Kind of happy
God,
now.
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
yeah,
I got
chills just saying
Yeah.
it.
Happy going through the suffering, right?
Yeah, I'm like,
Hell
dude,
yeah.
what is he doing
Yeah, this is
right
big.
now?
This is
Yeah.
big.
The other part of it too is that when you get to a certain level, and now I'm at this level, right? And I know that I'm on to something really big right now with this platform and everything. And you'll be on to like greatness, right? And that's when the devil and the enemy just starts attacking you.
Yeah.
But it's like now, I don't even let them attack, man. I'm just like, get out of my way,
Yep.
you know, because I'm stronger than that.
Yeah.
My God is stronger than that. I'm not always stronger than that.
Yeah.
But, it's like, because when those things are happening, like the devil's really good at, he knows your insecurities better than you know your insecurities.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he starts attacking those insecurities. And it's like, bam, then you get to the other side. And sometimes like we got to the other side of some shit, and we're still going through some stuff, but like, we have got all these treatment centers, and we're doing stuff and this platform. And for us, I mean, it was amazing that we connected with Natalie, and now she's a host, right? And then we just opened up the first ever NEM recovery centers. And now we have you on our podcast, which who knows what door God is opening up here.
Yeah.
We buy real estate.
Oh, perfect. I know a really good realtor.
Right,
That's
Shane?
funny. Yeah, we do.
Well, I know a very good realtor.
Oh, God.
And I actually work like in real life, by the way. So,
I sell real estate too sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys live around here too?
Costa Mesa.
Oh,
He
okay.
lives close by.
I live just like over there,
Oh, nice.
Pepper Tree.
Can you give the viewers a real estate tip, an insider tip?
Who is that?
Don't know.
Who's it?
It's God.
Who said
God.
God.
Real estate tip, like in what way?
I don't know. What can people, the general public, benefit from knowing about real estate?
I think people are too tied to the high interest rates right now. I know it's very, very scary, but if you look back in history, the average rate of interest rates are actually 8%, even though it's close to that. I mean, they used to be in 20%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Of course, properties were a lot lower then, but I can only speak for the OC market, probably even the LA market and San Diego. Prices will continue to go up. That's just a fact.
Mhm.
Everyone wants to live here for the lifestyle. It's safe, it's clean, it's beautiful. Everyone vacations here. It's going to continue to go up. So the longer you wait, the more you're going to pay. And once interest rates go back down, which everybody knows they're going to go down, then you just have to refi. But that is the best long-term way to build wealth, period.
She just made me want to buy a house. She closed me.
Perfect. Let's start looking at homes tomorrow. I got you.
I'm so mad that I sold my house like 18 months ago
Ooh.
because I just got the Zillow report on it.
Yeah. That's how
And-
they get you.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in a much nicer house now, but had I just held on to that house for 18 months,
Yeah.
like literally, it went from so I bought it for $1 million, like in 2014. Yeah, 14.
Mhm.
I thought we were like hitting the top of the market when I sold it for like 1.475. And now it's like 2.1 million.
Yeah.
18 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah. My biggest regret is not being able to buy during COVID when it was like 2%. By the way, we're never going to get that again.
No.
That was a one and done unicorn, never happening ever again. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then I wish I was able to buy then, but I didn't. But I think, where was I going with that? Oh, it's gone.
You're
That's gone.
Ask me where you're going with it. I'm going to do my
Ask him.
standard. Ask me.
Ask him, where was she going? Where
Where was I going with that?
Not sure.
I think
He
I was
always
just
does that to me.
yeah.
Not sure.
I think I was just trying to play into like, what my regret was. But yeah, they will continue to go up in price.
I'll
That's
tell
just
you
a
what
fact.
we don't regret. We refinanced 3 houses
Mm,
during that time,
nice. That's awesome.
and they're locked in.
Good.
Like they're locked in.
yeah.
I think like 2 of them are like 2.75,
Mhm.
which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And
I think
the-
I'm at 4.25.
And that is that from the original?
Yeah. I didn't refinance when it was going down. I just went 4.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that we don't have any more land. So
Right.
everywhere that you see building are so close together,
Yeah.
or they're
Right.
stacking them on top, like
Like
Rancho.
here.
Yeah.
What they're about to do here. This
Uh-huh.
this is a 1 acre parcel. This building sits
Uh-huh.
on like a 1 acre parcel. I think it's like, I don't know, like 40 units.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. It's crazy though.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's,
Commercial underneath, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 high.
yep, that's what they're doing everywhere. But it's, so the demand is high. So people are it's just going to continue to go up. That's just how it works.
This
Facts.
building could be one of your listings in the next 18 months.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
Do you do commercial?
Huh?
She does now.
I said, do you do commercial?
No, I'm licensed to, yes.
Oh, you are?
I do focus on residential, but I can do commercial.
She already told you she can sell anything
Yeah.
Yeah.
to anybody
Yeah.
Yeah.
at any price.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. We're going to trust her on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I just gain a lead?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Couple friends for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else, Shane?
I don't
you
know.
Got any?
You know what? If I was watching the TV show, I would have had a few more questions about season 1, but I didn't watch it, so I can't comment on that. And I'm just really, I really like her.
Oh, thank
You
you.
know?
Thank you. I
Were
can
you
always
telling
come
me that?
back.
You really?
No,
like
I'm
her?
telling her I really like you. You know, she's such a sweet person
Yes.
and goal driven,
Yep.
business orientated. She's got a head on her shoulders.
Very good soul.
Very and kind.
Kind. See,
and genuine.
that is that.
That's why she's successful.
You know
Kind
how
and genuine.
many people aren't kind in the business world?
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'm in the reality TV world, and I can't even tell you. Even when I go to the bar and I get something, the waitress is almost every time, "Thank you for being so nice."
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, is everyone else mean?
I know,
Like,
right?
what?
It's terrible.
And, you know, it's so messed up. And it's just like, I will forever treat everyone the same. No one's higher or lower. Like, I don't care. Because first of all, I used to bartend. I get that. Like, even our makeup artists and hairstylists, everyone's so mean to them. And they always they always work on me longer.
Like, why wouldn't you want to just like have fun with your makeup artist and like
Yes.
have a good time?
I know.
What is wrong with these grumpy ass people?
They're just entitled, and everything was given to
Were they?
them.
That's what I
and-
was going to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were things give? Because
Yeah.
although I do have a weird story, and Shane does too. Like, we both grew up
Wealthy.
semi-wealthy. My dad was also a famous doctor, so like I grew up in the back of TV studios all the time because he was always on like the Phil Donahue show. You guys?
Oh yeah, I know Phil.
She's not old enough for Phil Donahue, but
Sorry.
That's okay.
my dad was on TV before doctors were, before any of these doctors. So you asked, the ultrasound. The reason why when you did that, in an ultrasound, my dad is the doctor that perfected the ultrasound machine.
Wow.
He was part of the inventing of the gray scale, which is the reason why you can see an image from
In the
sound
stomach.
anything
What?
from sound waves
That's
bouncing back, and it goes onto a monitor.
Wow.
I think my sister was one of the very first babies ever
Ultrasound babies?
Yep.
Wow.
Wow, that's
cool.
incredible.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool.
my dad taught all over the world, University of Cairo. I mean, we traveled all over. I lived this crazy lifestyle. You know what else happens though? What else can happen to you when you're made by the media? You can also get killed by the media.
Oof. Yeah.
So my dad was blasted all over the news negatively for years, and we lost everything. So we went from the top of the hill down to the bottom. We were living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Costa Mesa on Harbor and Adams.
My stomping grounds.
Harbor and Adams.
Yeah.
Yep.
That will do something to you.
Yeah.
So you
And
see
then,
both sides, yeah.
My addiction spawned a brand new life for my whole entire family. So my dad and I founded the very first treatment center, Hope by the Sea, in 2002. It was just started out as a little tiny 6-bed treatment center that within like a year, it had grown into 70 beds. We've been as big as 150 beds during the gold rush, Hope by the Sea itself. Now we've scaled it back to 80 beds, all levels of care, detox through outpatient. And then I created the Infinity Group. My parents retired at COVID.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And since then,
rest is history.
Yeah, they unleashed the beast when COVID hit. And since then, I've acquired 5 more treatment centers, 2 mental health facilities. Shane and I, Shane actually acquired 3 veteran contracts for us with the VA hospitals. So we are actually in network with the VA to serve veterans, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's probably the most beautiful contract we have.
Yeah.
Because these guys really get shitty health care. They
Yeah.
really get horrible health care. and for them to be able to come to private treatment centers like this, it's a lot of work to get them in. But when they do get in, they do extremely well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow.
Well, you said yourself, if you're not helping someone else in society, you're not really living your true life. Everyone has to help someone else.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
I'm so much more prepared today for that question. What do you think a servant of God is? From Tim or from Joseph? You know, about our questions, being a servant of God. I know what that is now today.
Yep.
I'll have a much better answer.
I really believe that that's why we're all here.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it was divine that we all met
Yeah, absolutely.
that day, right?
Exactly.
And here you are a couple weeks later, chilling on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh.
One of our best podcasts we've ever had.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was really nice,
thanks.
uplifting.
It's just
and
very inspiring to hear your story. I had no idea
Yeah.
Yeah.
about and I saw a picture. You posted a picture recently with you and your son.
Mm-hmm. Yep. My boy. That was probably the most liked picture I've gotten. But it's, you know, I'm talking more about my story and I'm putting it more out there.
Yeah.
And I talk a little bit about it in season 1, but season 2, I spoke about more, but they actually cut a lot of stuff out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about that or rely on that. I'm just going to go out there and just put myself out there.
Yeah, do your thing.
Yeah.
It's so important that you get out and tell your story because it's so inspiring. There's another girl out there in your same position right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you give her hope.
Yeah, it's so crazy because when I first shared my story, it was a few years ago. It went completely viral on social media. And I was like, whoa, I didn't know what to expect. And then I can't even tell you how many messages I've gotten from people saying,
That's awesome.
I've gone through the same thing. What? You got kicked out of your house and was living in shelters too? And it's just so unbelievable how we are really not alone. Because when you go through that, it's like we think we're alone and we're going through it alone, you know? So when you hear that there's other humans out there that have gone through the same thing and they overcame it and how they overcame it, it's like it blows my mind how many people have a similar story to me.
And outcomes will vary. I mean, you really hit it out of the ballpark here. Let's be honest, right?
But everybody has that same ability.
Yeah, they
everybody
do.
has the same
They do.
ability.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. But not everyone will get there.
No.
And that's why
There's not enough room for everyone at the top. That's just life.
I believe that there is.
I was going to say that there is as well.
I believe that
Yeah,
there is. I think that people like us, though, that have overcame all of that, our job is to share our stories so we can be like, look, it can be done and this is how you can do it. And I do feel like more and more people are realizing that and they're opening up a lot more. And I don't know if that's making any sense, but.
No, it is. But what I'm trying to say is that everyone could find that peace if you find God and you're good with what you're doing. But what I'm saying is on your show, that for me is a mountaintop. There's only how many people? 9? That's it.
Oh, yeah. You're talking
That's
about,
it.
okay.
That's
That
your
makes sense.
mountaintop.
That's true. Not
There's only
a lot
9
of people
up there,
yeah.
but they can still find peace in their life. They're just
That's just a peak.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Her mountaintop.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh,
Her
I'm
mountaintop
just
is so-
getting started.
Yeah, that's
right. Your mountaintop.
That's not even the peak.
That's just a little
That's just
awesome.
a stepping stone.
Yeah,
I got big things in the
Good.
works. I'm talking about a movie of
Yeah.
my story, like big things coming.
Nice.
I've got one. I've got a movie too. I haven't written it yet. It's all right here. But I have a really good story. I'm going to sit in that chair probably in a couple weeks and let them podcast me.
That would be awesome. Can I sit in your chair when that happens? I'll podcast you.
Well, I already promised it to 2 people.
No, I'm joking.
Keep going. You'll get him. Keep going. Keep going. He can't say no.
Yeah, I can when it's my wife.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, there's no argument there.
Good answer.
No,
Yeah.
I like going home. The reason why I'm able to be so successful is because I have a very happy home most of the time, like a very happy home in a supportive environment. And I don't feel like, I feel like I can do anything. You know, I really, truly do. I feel like there's nothing that I can't do, nothing that I can't accomplish. I look at other people in the world and I'm like, I'm just as charismatic. I'm just as smart. I'm just as driven. I have God on my side. A lot of these people that are sitting at the top of stuff of life and they don't have God, I'm like, are they even happy?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of them aren't.
Because like, what are they offering to society? Like, we're all offering something to society. Every time you come in and you sit down and you tell your story, you're often offering a bunch of women hope. I mean, you offered the two of us. You inspired the two of us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Right?
Yeah.
What were we called? Oh, so we went and got our eyebrows threaded and our nose hairs waxed.
It was our first date.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
He paid.
So he's the man of the
He
relationship.
was the man. He's the Oh, all right.
You didn't like that, did
I
you?
know. You didn't
No.
appreciate it. No, but that's fine. I'll be the little spoon.
But what was my point? To
Not
saying
sure.
Saying that?
Chediva? Not sure.
Oh yeah,
Chediva.
because that's right. What did you call me?
Chediva.
Chediva.
Is that
His name's Chad, so I called him Chad Diva.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
My eyebrows were looking good though right
Yeah.
after. I'm telling you, I've never seen them like swoop so much.
Yeah.
And they
Nice.
get in there and you're like underneath like this holding it. Have you ever done that before?
I've never done that. No.
That was my first time too.
Yeah.
We
I
can-
heard
we
it
can-
hurts.
We can
Yeah, it
tell
does.
it's painful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm good.
And the lady's telling us though she's doing it and ripping out our
Don't
hairs.
they put it like in their mouth?
Yeah,
though?
it's-
Isn't
it's,
that weird?
It
It's
didn't
dental
bother-
floss.
No, it's yarn.
Is it? I thought it was dental
It's
floss.
like yarn.
I thought you pulled
I mean,
out
not
dental
yarn
floss.
like what you like sew shirts with.
thread.
A
It was thread. Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought it was dental floss.
Yeah.
Whatever. I won't go back.
That's not true. You told the lady you would be back in.
I will. I'll go
4
back.
weeks.
I'll have to go back now.
So
My turn. It's my
yeah.
turn next.
Anyways, I always know when we're kind of coming to the end because
Because we start blabbering like this.
Talking about eyebrow threading.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, good.
we did a vlog of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, things are good. Things are really good.
They really are.
Yeah.
I mean, we're super stoked on our little platform. We went from 0 to
45,000.
45,000.
120 days.
Oh, no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Holy
crazy,
cow. You guys are
man. I
really
know.
growing fast.
I know.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's needed. This is needed.
Right.
People are suffering.
Yeah.
People are suffering
Yeah.
and they need hope.
Yeah.
Like this, when we originally started it, we never really. It is a addiction, mental health platform, but it's also a hope platform, right? Everybody's hurting in some way or another, or everybody has hurt in some way or another.
Yeah.
And this is a time like in this world, it's so crazy, right? That we need to offer hope to people. The media, the government, they're all dividing us
Yeah.
intentionally
Yep.
because divided we're weak,
Yep.
right? They don't want us coming back together.
No.
They don't want, this is how I see it. They're all up there in Washington, D.C. They pretend like they hate each other. They know exactly what their true agenda is.
Yep.
It's to divide us.
Mhm.
And they're sitting there laughing at dinner together
Mhm.
behind the scenes going, look at what we've done.
Yeah.
We have divided them. And like, I'm making this fentanyl crisis, the loss of my son-in-law as a tool to bring
Yeah.
us all back together.
Mhm.
I don't care what people's political views are when they sit in here.
Yeah.
They might be different than mine. I don't care. I don't care about any of that. What I care
Yeah.
about is like their pain, what they've been through, their inspiration, how they got to where they've gotten in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And people don't have to achieve to where we are yet to feel a sense of accomplishment. It's
Absolutely.
those little baby steps along the way. sometimes they see like where you're at, right? People see where you're at and they're like, oh, how am I ever going to get there? One little baby step at a time.
Yep.
Right?
Because people only see your wins. People, most of my following is from the show. They didn't know. Like, people think it like happened overnight. No, there's so much more to what I've gone through to get to this point. And, but kind of going back to what you're saying, like, they want to divide us. And also the big issue is they want us to stay so distracted from all the division, so much so where we forget who we are as individuals and how powerful we are as individuals. And it's so easy for everyone to forget that everything you are looking for, all your happiness, your joy, everything starts with you. It's right here. And that was a huge turning point in my life when I was in this very dark place of everyone, please love me. Like, I was so desperate to like just feel validated and, you know, feel worthy, because I felt like I wasn't worthy for love. And that just spiraled into something terrible. And so it wasn't literally until one day I woke up and I thought, oh my God, everything I've been looking for has been inside of me the entire time. And that's when I opened up and I went on my spiritual journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Huh?
Yeah. That's a clip.
No,
Or reel,
I was,
whatever.
The whole time I was, mark that. The whole time I was thinking in my mind, I was like, because we have another software that clips stuff. It'll clip that.
Yeah.
It'll just clip it automatically.
Oh, we
Oh,
have
that's
that?
badass.
Oh, that's nice.
Is it that new like AI generate? No.
Is it AI that does it?
We can't give out trade secrets, but I'll tell you after.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know. Yeah. There's like this new thing where you put a long video and it'll cut out the good parts. Good parts.
Mm-hmm.
And they create little small videos.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
you can tell me after.
All right. Well, this was amazing.
Yeah.
We took up a lot of your time. We really appreciate you coming down and spending how much time with us?
2 hours.
Whoa.
What time is it?
I don't know. Do you have to be somewhere?
3:30? No, I have to call. Oh, I have to call Jordan an Uber. He gets off school at 3:30.
It's 3:37.
Okay.
Woo!
Let's have her call.
It's okay. Yeah. We gotta.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure, and this was the best podcast I've ever been on.
Awesome.
I felt so comfortable, and thank you for listening to my story. And I've never, ever, ever shared this side of me. Yes.
Thank you, because that's our goal. And we always say to each other, we want this place to be safe.
Yeah.
2 men, but we want to be open and understanding and really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We appreciate too that a lot too, because we're 2 men, right? And for us, it says a lot to us when when a lady comes in and feels safe to open up
and cry and be emotional. It's nice. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really
thank you, guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Goodbye.